General, we have a most critical situation. Another terror cell has infested the area surrounding the Three Gorges Dam. Enemy reinforcements now threaten our own valiant troops, including our agent, codenamed Black Lotus. Use any means necessary to halt this GLA advance and annihilate their soldiers.
All forces, regroup at the command center.
The base is lost. All forces retreat to the dam. I have a plan. Destroy the dam. Flooding the valley is the only way we can stop the GLA now. Hurry, before the forces escape.
Destroy the dam? Like, who are the terrorists here again?
You're not
Yeah,
terroristic, it's domestic.
Let's build.
Yeah, we're a government, it's okay for us to do it. So, yeah, here we have several new units. The Tank Hunter, there are, well, anti-tank infantry. Pretty self-explanatory, especially if you played other CNC games. And we also have Black Lotus, who really isn't that useful this mission. I don't know what the point is of having her. And the Troop Crawler, which is just completely useless. It's that red radius is detection, where it can reveal invisible units. And otherwise, when you build it, it comes with 8 red guards, and that's it. It has no attack. The units can't fire out of it or anything. It's... yeah, I really don't see the point of having that thing.
And it's not like it's a amphibious or anything.
No, there are no amphibious units in this game.
Construction is complete.
So, new general's ability, the Minefield. What it does is, it makes a plane come in and drop off a bunch of mines. And, well, these mines are invisible unless you have detection, like the troop carrier, and otherwise, here you can see the tank hunters actually blowing up my mines before the enemy can step on them. Yeah, well, they're pretty much what you expect from mines.
And there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. Why did they do that? They just blew up their own guys, and beyond that, like a bunch of civilians, I guess.
Spotted across the river.
With the dam broken, the water level is dropping. If the water drops enough, they'll be able to cross.
We need to build.
Well, there you go, that's the
before
reason.
The GLA cross the river.
Let's build. I build for China. It will look real nice when it's done. China has been generous.
Yeah, that's also the other thing that always bothered me, aside from the weird cutscene effectiveness, is how these guys are like super suicidal and self-destructive, yet somehow they manage to fight a war against both China and the US at the same time.
They are,
We will live in prosperity.
what's the word? They have high hopes.
China has been
Very high morale.
Orders complete, sir. Let's pick up
Counts
some
for a lot.
we will live in prosperity.
So yeah, this is pretty much the standard Chinese defensive line.
That's a good
If I can get this bunker placed properly. Basically, you build a bunch of tank hunters and you put them in bunkers,
Yeah.
and then you build Gatling guns right next to them, and that way you have really strong defense against tanks and infantry. Because tank hunters, when you garrison, I think they might even get a firing boost if they're in buildings, or maybe they just fire that high normally. But yeah, if you put them in buildings, they'll just blow through enemy armor like nobody's business.
Yes.
So the bunker is just a garrisonable building. Is it clear? Can you clear it out with the toxin tractor or the?
I'm pretty sure you cannot. Like, that's the main thing about the bunker. Like, the main advantage it offers is that it's really tough and it cannot be cleared out. So, if you have a bunker with a bunch of tank hunters in it, it can get really hard to dislodge it.
Now, do we take a look at Black Lotus in this mission? I know she's the Chinese hero unit, right?
Yeah, her abilities really just aren't that useful, especially in this mission. We get to see her in the next mission, which is when I will do a proper introduction on her, but yeah, for this mission she's just gonna hang out on base and not do anything.
Fair enough.
Construction.
Yeah. The artillery in this, like normally I would pick level 2 artillery over repair, but in this particular mission the artillery just isn't useful at all because in order to use it you need to have
GLA will be able to cross the river soon.
you need to have sight of the enemy base or like structures that you want to attack. And by that point you're already in the middle of the enemy base. It's kind of like back in Tiberian Sun with the air units. You had to see the enemy base before you could attack it with air units. And so by that point you pretty much won already.
And you don't really have any good scouting units yet. And you don't have anything that's quick like the technical is.
Yeah, I don't think the Chinese even get any like dedicated scouting units like the Humvee or technical. I mean, it's been years since I played this game, so I might just be forgetting things. But yeah, I don't think the Chinese have anything like that.
I like your supply units are over there. They're parked in the perfect positions that they don't have to move at all. I could.
Yeah, that's the ideal situation with this with these supply depots.
I can just imagine the workers are like taking the supply, putting it in the truck, and filling up the truck, and then taking it out of the truck and putting it in the building.
You may have like just guys sitting on top of a truck and handing it to each other in a human chain. Yeah, these guys don't even get close at my defenses.
Yeah.
Those other guys who are limping, they had the misfortune of surviving the minefield.
Poor guys. Yeah, it looks like the tank hunters aren't all that bad at taking out infantry.
They are. It's just these guys were severely wounded and the other guys got mowed down by the Gatling cannons. Yeah, the thing about the Gatling cannons is once they're spooled up, they do ridiculous damage to light vehicles and infantry.
Yeah, that was I believe, so Yuri, in Yuri's Revenge, they had a Gatling gun unit, and that was basically the same idea behind that.
Yeah, those things took a lot longer to spool up though. They had these really weird firing animations where it would just be this massive blaze if they spun up all the way, but you had to fire like a minute or half a minute or something like
Right.
that.
That a hell of a noise made it too.
Yeah, although those things were pretty overpowered too, even back then.
Immediately.
So it looks like you're heading out.
Yeah, also I built a flame tank because I completely forgot that the game starts you out with 2 of them.
Can you trigger your own mines?
No, those things actually have some kind of friendly fire system.
That's good.
Here we go.
So I should probably look it up if the Qilong Dojo is actually a thing or if they made that up.
Of course.
be kind of a silly thing to just make up.
Cross the river.
Storage tanks sealed. Spin them up. Serving China's needs. We are the Red Guard.
Yeah. It's probably some little shallow like, oh, we have this ancient site. Also, that one Red Guard managed to get the killing shot on a tank, and he leveled up to level 3 immediately. And then
Now
got
he's dead.
crushed.
The People's Army.
Yeah, and here you can see that the AI is very happy to just run over your infantry
Oh, especially if they're
whenever it gets a
yeah,
chance.
especially if it's a juicy target like that.
Yeah.
Immediately. Garrison the building. Storage.
Pretty much the only thing you can do to counter that is either garrison your guys in a building, or you can have a wall of rocket infantry and just have them kill all the incoming tanks before they get a chance.
Yeah.
Army. That building looks safe. China's tank division.
Yeah, this map is kind of a lot of urban warfare since you have to go through this whole city. So infantry is kind of useful here because you can just garrison them in the buildings, and the enemy doesn't have toxin trucks, so they can't actually dislodge them except with the tanks, of which they have a very large amount.
You have several. Looks like you don't have to. There's no base radius in this game either. You can just build wherever you want.
Where is the battle?
Yeah, it's just like, this has nothing to do with the old CNC construction yard system. You just build wherever.
It's hard to understate or overstate how little this game has to do with actual CNC.
We have big
Yeah, I think a lot of the complaints about this game could have been alleviated if they had just called it like just generals.
Yeah. I find that happens with a lot of games. You have a studio that's making their own game, and then some other studio or parent company is like, "Hey, this will make more money if we throw a established character on it." Star Fox Adventures is a good example for that. Or
Temperature stable.
I'm
Yeah,
sure there's others.
it's
Bullet barrage.
yeah, it's just you have a new game, but instead of making a new franchise, you just use an existing one because the name attracts attention.
Right. Not necessarily good attention as you see.
Yeah, I mean, with Generals, I said it before, but it's not a bad game. It's just people came in and they expected a CNC, and that's not what they got.
Right.
Ready for orders.
Also, you can see the second the building got damaged to the point that I could no longer garrison it, the tank immediately started to drive towards my infantry to run them over.
Right.
They actually have their tanks upgraded in this map. They have these little missiles, so it's actually an upgrade that the GLA can get. And they do a lot of damage.
building the Chinese Empire.
So let's just mine this random street. I'm sure this could never cause like any collateral damage after the war is over already.
Nope.
Defenders of
Yeah, no kids are gonna like pick up a butterfly mine and think it's a toy or something.
Not in China.
The Chinese children don't play with toys.
We'll tear through their armor.
They come to
pressure level set.
they get bored, they just immediately start chewing through math and crunching numbers.
We'll tear through their armor.
Also, this building has kind of weird line of sight where sometimes the enemies just don't want to get in range, or like don't want to get in a position where they can shoot one. Can get shot from the building.
The other thing I've noticed is the civilian, like the garrisonable structures in this game, they're like wet paper towels. Like they do not stand up to abuse at all. It seemed like in other CNC games the buildings were a bit more hardy, and in these they just kind of explode after a few tank shells.
Yeah, although it's also kind of building dependent. Like some of the buildings just die instantly, others can take a bit of punishment. Another reason why bunkers are so great is because they can take a lot of
As
abuse.
they should.
Gun barrel spinning.
And yeah, this is basically the my tactic for this mission. Is the enemy has a lot of tanks and they have these really strong missiles, so basically just hunker in these buildings and use them as a base of fire. And I think that suicide bomber came through after all, blew up those tanks, because I have no idea what
Yeah, you
happened.
lost about 3 tanks there.
Yeah, it's kind of
Enemy tanks out there.
weird. Because of the problem with using infantry and tanks together in an offensive operation like this is pathfinding will screw you over so much.
Right here. Temperature stable. China's fighting for the Red Army.
Kill a worker.
Also, the game tells you to cut off the enemy supplies, but that doesn't actually do anything because the AI in this game cheats like hell. Like, from what I remember, it was something like every minute or so we just get $10,000.
That's a little obnoxious.
Yeah, so if you think you can just starve the AI of money or whatever, that's not a thing you can do in this game. And one of the annoying things is, about garrisoning buildings is sometimes they make weird targeting decisions, like rocket soldiers in a building will decide to attack infantry instead of a tank, like here. While the Red Guard decide they want to shoot at the tank with a rifle. So you always have to micromanage, and that was really poor timing on my part, sending these guys out of the building.
Keep the cylinders oiled.
Just in time to get hit with a rocket.
Now you can take the building, you can tell them what to attack when they're in the building, right?
Yeah, you can give the building manual attack orders just like anything else. But sometimes you're like micromanaging other things. Or, it's not just the buildings, it's really just the general thing. Here, like with these Gatling tanks deciding to attack an enemy tank instead of the infantry. And here's another new unit for this mission, the MiGs. I'll show them off a bit later, but yeah, they're basically the airplane for the Chinese. And the way they work is like in Red Alert, where you have to build an airfield, and they have to have an airfield to land at, and unlike the previous CNC games, you can't just have them like land on the ground or something.
China's tank division. Tactical fighter reporting.
Also the whole limited ammo thing and such still applies.
Yeah, that's how they usually did aircraft, is they
Where is
had
the battle? Right here.
ammo. One of the only units that had ammo was the
Fighting for the
aircraft.
Red Army. Right here.
Yeah. All the tanks and vehicles and everything just have infinite ammo.
We are the Red Guard. Battle Master 10 reporting. Keep the cylinders oiled.
Also, like I said before, but the enemy has a lot of tanks for this mission.
Yeah,
It's really kind of annoying. Because it means you can't move your infantry up, because the moment you send them out of the building, a tank will just come by and run them over.
like, yeah, for the 4th mission, this is our 3rd mission, this is quite a grind.
Yeah, fortunately the tank hunters and building strategy works really well. But
Where is the battle? We are the Local Army.
yeah, like, just look at this. We have like a dozen tanks at least in this whole base. And that's not counting the ones that we had before. We had to grind through in the city. And they're constantly rebuilding them too.
Strapped in and ready. General, our base is under attack.
So yeah, The nice thing about MiGs is they're really fast, and that allows them to
We are the Red Guard.
to get into a lot of places at once. And there I actually showed off a little trick
Yeah, I like that.
with the just lure the tank at the range.
The tank's like, ooh, I can run over him. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. We missed the airstrike, but we'll see it later. And you just notice that these guys are just slacking off while their friends are getting slaughtered in the front.
Moving now, sir.
It's not their problem. They get to roll in and they get all the glory and they don't have to kill anything.
Standing attention.
Yeah,
Keep the cylinders oiled.
they just follow their orders. Look, General said we should go here, and unless he tells us to help these guys out who are being killed, we will just stay
We'll
here.
stay here, follow our orders.
Attacking ground forces.
Dragon tank! Set them ablazing! Storage tanks sealed!
So, yeah, the other thing about Dragon tanks is, as you might expect,
Battlemaster tanks reporting.
they're pretty effective against buildings, and so are the MiGs, since they have flame weapons. They're not that good against vehicles, although they can still do decent damage if they get a tank in a full salvo.
They're through.
And you could also see the black napalm upgrade. That's something you have to buy. Normally the fire weapons of the Chinese just aren't really impressive. But yeah, that's the mission.
We are victorious.
Victorious.
And cheer again. It's like the laugh track in a comedy.